Well, Hussein, thank you so much for taking time for this. I really, really appreciate it. As we start, can you maybe talk a little bit about, I know there's so many changes in the last 2 years, from work from home um, issues and lack of large scale events, or say Black Hat, they were either canceled or curtailed in scope, which created certain challenges with reaching out high value potential clients among cybersecurity professionals. Can you talk a little bit how you experienced maybe some of those challenges and handled them?
Yeah, absolutely, Misha. I mean, there's kind of two or three challenges that we faced at Area One and for me as a head of sales, both at Area One and other organizations, is that there's the first challenge for us is we're in a very crowded category where there's a lot of new technologies coming out or new companies coming out, all kind of pursuing the same share of voice as we are. And so that creates a lot of clutter and confusion from the market on the customer side or the marketplace side, which makes it really hard to reach those people, right? Because they just get bombarded, like a CISO gets bombarded every day with 50 to 100 cold emails, cold outreaches. And our traditional method to kind of break through that was to use a lot of physical events, because generally when you're in a physical event, you can have a one-on-one interaction where you can actually have a discussion around the problem that the CISO may have and how a company like Area One how we solve that problem and have a very authentic conversation. In the COVID world, that obviously that second piece disappeared, and so we as an organization have been constantly looking for alternatives to get to that same level of interaction, which is that one-on-one discussion conversation from trusted sources, so that we can actually get an honest opportunity to describe our story, describe the pain that we solve, and then have a meaningful discussion around it.
I understand. And kind of Affinity in general provides a somewhat novel format, executive briefing rather than a sales call, where the idea is that a subject matter expert would sell the CISO on the problem, not necessarily on the solution, but then implied in that the solution may be one of the options. So as it's a fairly novel concept, what your experience has been thus far with executive briefings?
Yeah, I think that the great thing is that there's a couple of things that Affinity provides us. One is that you have credibility with the CISO community. That's extremely valuable. So we're already entering in with less skepticism than we would if we entered in through our kind of cold prospecting approaches. The second thing that you afford us is access to the right people. And that's really important. And then to your point, in the right format, which is this executive level discussion, right? So it's less of a product conversation. It's more of a, hey, here's what's happening, what's transpiring. And naturally the conversation is more free flowing and more productive. So just to give an idea, and I suspect you're probably going to ask me about some statistics, just to give an idea, we've done about 100 or so of these briefings. And of that, the thing that we measure very consistently is how productive were these discussions. And as you know, Misha, this year we've recontracted with you guys 4 times, and we plan to continue as long as possible with you guys. But out of the 100 discussions or briefings that we had, it generated 39 opportunities and at a total of $4.5 million in pipeline. Wow. That is probably the number one source of pipeline for us as an organization. And I can't speak highly enough about you and your organization. It has been a very pleasant experience. Pleasant is actually too much of an understatement. It's been a pleasure to kind of work with you and the team to get access to people that have a phishing problem that, we stop phishing, and we know everybody has this problem. We just need help getting to those people, and you and your organization have really helped us there.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. And the last question, which we actually get a lot, which is, with the main thrust of the executive briefing being providing actionable insights, providing information, highlighting the problem, how do you transition? It seems like, well, kudos and congrats on your success. How you transition to the second meeting, the second call? What are some of the ways that were effective for you, where the first meeting, you get their attention, you deliver the message, but a lot of questions that we get, how to make sure it's not just an FYI session? How do you get this continuity and additional meetings with the same person or a relevant person within the team of a CISO?
A part of that is like we embraced something you had shared with us early on, which is like, hey, these are executive sessions, they're not product pitches. And so we kind of took that guidance and the conversations, we don't talk about product with the CISO until they ask about product, and that changes the dynamic. So yes, we've embraced the format that you guys have created, which is it's a briefing, and we talk about the security landscape and what we see from a research perspective. And that actually naturally takes the buyer or the customer through a process where they're like, okay, that's true. I do experience that. I am feeling that. I understand that. That research really resonates with me. And the natural point, the conversation will eventually like, well, what can I do about this? And that just serves for us to talk about the product in a non-confrontational way. The customer feels comfortable because they're the ones looking for the information. We're not forcing the information to them. And I think, so I guess back to your question is, it's important to just embrace the format that you guys have created, because it does work when you treat it as a briefing, a true briefing, not as a product pitch. If we showed up, I suspect if we showed up and just did a pitch, our first core pitch in that first conversation, it's not going to resonate. But stylistically, as an organization, we prefer to talk about the landscape and what the customer is dealing with. So that guidance really kind of resonated with us, customer first, and then naturally, the problem, the surfaces, and how we solve the problem will become the natural conversation.
Certainly. And actually, what I would probably encourage is, so the calls that didn't convert into pipeline, maybe they have an alternative solution. I don't know what kind of the outcome was, but maybe just not the right time. So and hopefully this conversation, and those are very busy executives, hopefully this conversation, even though that didn't convert to a pipeline right then and there, it will be a long tail where through hopefully upcoming events, whether it's Gartner or say, you'll be able to to maintain the relationship and kind of walk them maybe a little bit slower pace to hopefully for them to become a client.
No, absolutely. I mean, I think just like the stats that I'd share is like we've done 100 meetings, we've gotten 39 opportunities. Of the 39, 20 are still active, which is a pretty high conversion number. So like it's clearly where you're introducing us to the right people, where we've embraced the format, the executive briefing format, and that's working, and it's cascading through to the customers. And you're right, yeah, the other 19 we at some point feel like they'll resurface and we continue to maintain engagement. But because of the format, we keep that door open, because like they know that we're not just coming in, rolling in, just saying, hey, here's a product, buy it. We're coming in with credible, meaningful information in that first conversation. So they'll accept and do more of these subsequent discussions and conversations.
Absolutely. Well, Hussain, thank you so much for your feedback. I'm super excited, and congrats on the transaction. It's public news. It's very, very exciting to be part of your journey, and we're here to celebrate your success and to be of help. Hopefully,
thanks, Misha.
Hopefully in the future as well. Thank you so much.
Appreciate that. Thank you.